We got a special guest on tonight. He's a legend. You may have seen some of his viral videos when he used to do some dancing, or maybe you've seen some of his recent videos where he's been doing a lot of comics and anime reenactment fights. This brother has nearly 500,000 subscribers, over 165 million views. Yo, give it up for the one and only brother. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Salucci.
Hey, Salucci, the legend in the building. Hey, Salucci, man.
Yeah.
Bro, how long have I been hounding you to do this interview, bro? Like 2 years?
Probably 2 years, yeah. Two years.
Facts. And Salucci, tell the people who may not, because you like I said, you went viral for being Michael Jackson, doing Michael Jackson reenactments, dancing, right? Tell the people who you are and what you're about and what you do, bro.
Well, I'm Salucci, and I'm a man of, I guess you can say, many talents. And I'm mostly self-taught in my talents. And it's actually started off with dancing. And then I progressed into animation and retouching. And way back in the day, martial arts. I still do martial arts till today. But, I do a bunch of different things. And, now I'm here interviewed by the one and only Solo TV.
Hey, Salucci, if I play part of your videos, I won't get a copy strike, right?
No, you won't. You won't.
All right, cool. Let's get started, bro. How did you even like the Michael Jackson thing? You went first viral off of that, right? Like I said, bro. Well, I haven't said it yet, but I'm an '80s baby, so Michael was it. No disrespect to you Prince fans, but it was all about Michael. You feel me? How did you get into making those Michael Jackson videos? And then when did you decide to make a YouTube video out of it? Because you are really, really good.
Thank you so much. I just felt like the Thriller era in Michael Jackson's, his career wasn't that fully represented, especially when it came to like tribute artists and impersonators. They would always go for the bad era or the history era. The era where Michael Jackson looked more Eurocentric. And I was like, this era needs some more love. It needs some more attention to it. So that's one of the reasons why. And the other reason was because Michael Jackson is my number one inspiration. He's the reason I started doing all of this, because my many talents came from dancing at first. And then I told myself, if I can dance and I can teach myself and I can teach myself a bunch of other things that I was getting interested in doing. So I picked up, high-end retouching, martial arts, CGI, and then animation, and somewhere along the line I picked up on photography, and that's basically what happened. And Michael Jackson was the ground zero of my inspiration. That's why I pay so much tribute to him. Yeah.
Okay, so like when you were younger, let's like high school or middle school, were you like doing dance contests? I mean, how did you even decide because I'm pretty sure that there's at one point you were even doing shows, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and getting paid. So how did you just do this as a guy? You were probably just dancing like I was, except I wasn't that good. I could never moonwalk. I could never figure that out. I had everything down. I even got won second place in a dancing contest. But
I can teach you how to moonwalk. I can teach you how to moonwalk whenever. It's not okay, my thing. I can teach you. But the thing is, how I started dancing was like when I was a kid. My father would play me Michael Jackson tour tapes, and I would watch it, and I'll just sit on my ass and just keep watching and just being so amazed at the way Michael Jackson would move, right? So one day I told myself, you know what? Why don't I just get up and just learn how to dance? Not necessarily like Michael, but just learn how to dance in general. So I started learning how to dance. I started up with the wave, with the waving, and then I progressed into moonwalking. And as I got older, I got more into hip hop. And eventually I was able to transition from dancing for fun to dancing professionally. And I actually went to a few auditions in New York, and just to get a grasp of what it's like to be a professional dancer. At first, I didn't really like it, but eventually I just got a hang of it, and I started to book more gigs, and touring with more artists and appearing in a few music videos and stuff like that. Just a little bit, a baby step in my transition when it came to dancing, like Michael Jackson, or just dancing to hip hop in general.
Okay. And I mean, your brother, he's a dancer too, right?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Okay.
So do people ever get you and your brother confused in public where they think you're your brother or vice versa?
When we were much younger, yeah, but as we got older, we should look a little different, but I guess in some ways, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dope. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Solo TV 84. We got Salucci in the building, Michael Jackson lookalike dancer, director. We're going to get into all of that here in a moment. And before we go, shout out to Aizen Sama. I appreciate you, bro. He says, can't wait to get into this. I'm a huge anime fan. Great topic, Solo TV 84. Okay, appreciate that. Now, Salucci, we got the history of you dancing, right? Yeah. So how did this transcribe, or when did you decide, okay, now I want to make a YouTube channel? Like, what popped that off?
The YouTube channel thing started off, it was mainly because of dancing, really. That's when I made a YouTube channel. But eventually I started to slow down in terms of making dance videos because I would usually get copyright strikes on my channel from Sony and all these record labels, and I was like, this is not right. Like, I would spend all this time putting together a dance video, and the next day, boom, copyright strike. You have a strike on your channel, 2 more strikes and you're out. I'm like, nah, this just isn't it, right? And the thing is, when you look today, right, how YouTube is censoring a lot of YouTube content makers. I don't care if you're upright or on the left or middle. I don't care, right? YouTube censors people in general, right? And I saw this coming, and I was like, I don't want to be in a position where I put in so much work in my videos and it just gets eliminated by YouTube. So I was thinking, what is it that I actually like doing that I can make that wouldn't completely offend YouTube, but it's something that is true to me and something that I'm very passionate about. So that's when I started to progress slowly into making CGI animation videos, mainly focused on Marvel characters. Yeah.
And here's the crazy part, y'all. This brother is self-taught, he said. So you didn't go to school for this. You didn't study this. You taught yourself how to do this.
I taught myself. And I started animating in 2016. So that was 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
Wow. Can you talk about, like, were you watching YouTube videos, reading books? How did you get into this realm? And because some of these videos, like I said, the longer you have been doing them, the more phenomenal and the more progressive they have become in regards to your skill set and everything, right?
Yeah. And the video we're watching right now, the Spider-Man versus Flash, it's more of an older video on the real board. But the thing is that, I got into animation mainly because of, growing up and playing video games. I was just so fascinated. It's kind of like having a toy, but you have control over this toy in a way that you really couldn't if you had an actual physical toy. It's more of like, I can make you do whatever I want, however I want, and put it into a video and make a little story out of it. It's like playing little action figures, but more advanced. That's kind of how I see it. It's fun. It's fun stuff.
Right.
But it's also work, though. It's also a lot of work, but fun.
Oh, I bet. Like, how long would you say it takes you to knock out one of these? Because I notice you sometimes you sometimes don't post for a while. So, like 2 months, 3 months. Like, how long usually?
Like right now, I haven't posted a new video because I'm actually working on a brand new short film, and it's gonna be better than anything I've ever made. And it usually takes me around, if it's a 1 minute video, it will take me around 2 months to make. So 1 minute will take me around 2 months of working either every day for about 14 hours a day, or maybe every other day, depending on how I feel in terms of if I'm motivated enough to want to make a video or not. But it takes me around, I would say, 14 to 16 hours of working on a video every day to make a 1 minute video for about 2 months. And that's usually what happens.
Like, okay, let me ask you this, because I understand the copyright, because I've dealt with that too. I think we all have at one point in YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But, going from, I mean, you were successful doing the whole Michael Jackson, dance-alike, look-alike impersonation. And now you're successful doing this. And here's the funny part, because a lot of people think that YouTubers, we're only one-dimensional. that all we do is just do what we talk about. But have you always been like a comic book anime fan? Like, let's talk about that a bit. Your history.
I have been a comic book fan. I really have been. Usually, I remember I was reading Pinhead when I was a kid, right? And the comic book was just so gore-tastic and so violent. I was like, why would they put so much blood and violence in the comic book? And that's what really reeled me in, right? Because of how violent it was and just how creative these people were. And I'm looking back, I'm actually surprised I was able to understand what was going on as a kid, you know? So I think that was one of the seeds that was planted in my memory to, cultivate this love for, comic books and, Marvel and DC and I a little bit of Dragon Ball Z. I'm trying to get a little bit more into Dragon Ball Z, but the thing is I haven't found any, solid, detailed, characters that I can use and make them look believable or photorealistic. It's just more of like cartoonish looking characters, and I want to do characters that look very realistic. That's what I'm going for. Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, this is phenomenal work, brother. Like you really have taken it to another level. And you know me, man, I'm an anime comic fan, so like to me, that made me enjoy your content even more. Now, typically, one of the big issues, Salucci, YouTubers have is, right, if you start off doing one type of content, it's kind of hard to transition to do other content. Because I've tried it, and because the audience is very resistant. They know you for doing this type of content, because my older content, I used to go in on women hard. You feel me?
Yeah.
But now, like, I try to do different content that's more cerebral, more like interview type content. Content like I remember a couple of years ago, I was trying to do pranks and skits, and my audience was not feeling that at all. Even though, like, I did one skit called Wakanda Forever, and it was funny.
Yeah.
But the audience was like, no, get back to roasting these weak females.
Oh, boy.
So let me ask you this. When you transition, because you've been I think you're even more successful doing this than the Michael Jackson videos. Would you agree with me on that? Were you afraid that, man, my audience might not feel this, I might have to start from scratch, or because your transition has been seamless, it seems. Can you talk about that? Like, what was your thought process, knowing that you were changing up your whole content, basically?
Honestly, deep down inside, I just did not care about what people thought about what I was doing. I was just like, you know what? I'm doing what I like. I'm only going to be alive for a limited amount of time on this planet. So I'm going to do what I like. I'm going to do what makes me happy. So that's what I did. I just moved on, into a different genre that I was interested in. It's my YouTube channel. So I was like, I'm going to do what I like. And that's what I did. What I like.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Solo TV 84. We got Salucci in the building. The videos you watching right now, he made all them Johns, right? And some people, Salucci, they, like I said, they know you for the Michael Jackson videos. They know you for all of that. When you started making these videos, right, and now you're gaining more success, are you still passionate about doing the Michael Jackson impersonations? Do you still do those, or what's going on with that?
See, I do it every now and then. I've always done the MJ tribute artist thing every now and then. And the thing is, I never try to make money doing the Michael Jackson thing. It just doesn't feel right. I have other ways and streams of income. I don't like using his image to make money. Just paying tribute to Michael Jackson, my number one inspiration. That's all I like to do. The money thing, no, it just doesn't feel right with me. It feels so wrong. So I'm like, nah, I can do other things. I can make money from other things. But the Michael Jackson thing, it's just passion. It's pure passion.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, and it's phenomenal. And when you do this, and I'm pretty sure too, you got to have the voices for some of these characters.
Yeah.
Is it a hassle to find people to do it, or do you do it yourself? I mean, I don't want you to give the whole game away, but just talk about, like, because people think, oh, you just make this video and it's a wrap, but there's a lot that goes into it. Can you maybe share with the audience what are some of the intricacies of this, or what takes time, with some of these videos?
Okay, let me break it down from like a little basic perspective, giving you some details of what happens, right? So first, I get an idea. Okay, I want this to happen, that to happen. Now I have to solidify the idea into a physical, copy of something. So I will write it down into a script. It will take me probably around maybe 6, 10, maybe 6 to 10 hours to write a script, right? For a short video. It's like a very, very basic script of what happens. This person does this person comes over here, this person attacks this person, and eventually, I build more of a plot around the script, make it make sense, add little storyline to it. When it's done, now the next step is to go into the animation process, right? So now I'm animating, and it's gonna take me months, especially if it's a short film that's over 3 minutes, right? It's gonna take me a while to make that, right? And when I'm done with that, I render out my product. So I put out images and put it into a video, play it through and through, add the visual effects to make sure everything looks nice and appealing and maybe even professional, and then I go to a website called Fiverr.com, right?
Right.
And you look up a bunch of voiceover artists, right? And they have voiceover reels where you can play their reels and hear what they sound like and see all the voices they can do. I'm like, all right, I like this person, I like this woman, I like this man, I like this woman. Okay, this woman can play this character, this man can play this character, this guy can play this person. So I'll basically give them the script, just a little bit of the script, not the entire thing, just their part, right? So no one actually has the full script, just little bits and pieces of the script. I'm like, here, do this.
Are you worried about that somebody might leak it or like bite your idea? Is that right? Or
yes, and I also don't want to ruin the surprise because I want them to be completely.
Hold on, we all see Goku. I'm sorry.
I'm yet to make a version of this video with Goku and Superman. I mean, what's his name? Cosmic Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, to be continued. Hey, yeah. You got it down though, bro. You got it down. I love it. Love it. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just got hyped when I saw Goku.
No problem. So the thing is, so after I'm done finding out the voiceover artists and they do their thing, then eventually I would add those voices to the characters in the video and you just publish it out and whatever happens, happens.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And hey guys, welcome to Solo TV 84. We got Salucci in the building, Michael Jackson lookalike dancer, along with anime, comic, fight, content creator. Now, Salucci, let me ask you this. When you make these videos, I see you do a lot of Marvel, and obviously let's have the debate.
Yeah.
Right? Which one is the goat? Marvel or DC? Let's get into it, bro.
Oh boy.
Let's get into it, bro. Marvel or DC?
Man. Oh, fanboy time. Oh boy. Let's go. You know what?
That's what you're here for. Let's go.
Mostly I like Marvel. I like the colorful, vibrant nature of Marvel. I mean, you can have some dark niches in Marvel, but it's mostly like vibrant in a sense. Don't get me wrong, there's violence and death in Marvel, but in DC, it's mostly just dark, gore, death. You see the blood, you see the detail, you see the people's heads hanging up, and you see the blood splurting out, you see guts. You don't usually see much of that in Marvel, which is why Marvel is I think that's one of the reasons why Marvel is a little more successful because it's more appealing to a broader audience of people than DC is. And, there was a point in time when I think DC was a lot more popular than Marvel, but now Marvel is just, it's now taking the lead.
Yeah, definitely. I think my thing is, I think Marvel is better in regards to they're making their live movies, right?
Yeah.
And the comics too are very intricate, but I think DC is better when it comes to like the animated videos, like when they do like the Batman, which one was it? The Batman in red, I forgot the name, man. There's so many of them. But one thing is too with DC, they got Batman and Superman. So we got to talk about this. And I know, Salucci, I'm putting you in a tough spot, but if you had to think of your top 5 favorite Marvel characters and your top 5 favorite DC, who would it be?
Oh boy, I don't even think I have a top 5 in Marvel or DC, but Black Panther comes to mind as number 1 for Marvel, and then followed by Thanos because Thanos is a very reasonable villain. Like he makes some psycho like the Joker who just goes around just doing crazy shit because he's in a bad mood, right? Thanos is very calculated, and he has a good reason behind why he does this crazy shit, right? But I would say Black Panther, Thanos, Tony Stark, Spider-Man. That's what's his name? Yeah, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and oh my goodness, this is really tough. This is really tough. I'm gonna say Blue. I'm gonna have to go with Blue.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And for DC, I'm gonna go with Batman, Superman, Vixen. Um, oh boy, let's see. This is really tough. This is really tough.
I mean, Batman and Superman, you good. You good right there.
Green Lantern and who else? There's one more. There's one more. Keeps slipping. Keeps slipping. Who's that person? No. Bane.
Okay.
Yes, Bane.
It's only fair if I do mine, though, right?
All right. Go ahead. All
right. So with Marvel, you know what I'm saying? I got to put in Wolverine, right?
Oh.
Okay. And by the way, these are not in order.
Right.
But Wolverine with Marvel, Death Note, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and then the last one, oh man. Last one would be a tough one because you could go with you know who I like that is kind of people might say why Solo. I like Dr. Xavier.
Why?
Okay, that's a great question. So the reason I like Dr. Xavier is I like the character because the character has a lot of different layers to it. But then recently I started watching a show and I haven't read the comics yet. I mean, and by the way, I used to read the comics, but I don't read them like that anymore. So please somebody say, yo, Solo, you don't know what you're talking about. When I read the comics, bro, I read them until I was like 25. But I might have to go back because there's a comic store not too far. But there's a character that I didn't know much about until recently called Legion, right? And Legion is actually Xavier's son. And they made a show on it called Legion on Fox. And so I got to check him. And I mean, I've done the research because I follow some of these big comic channels that explain, you know, history of comics and such, like Comics Explained and such like that. But I like him. But another character, who else? I can't think of him right now. But, you know, another character that is kind of underrated. I wouldn't put him in my top 5, but it's Hawkeye. Hawkeye is a lot smarter than people think. But it's just like in the movies, they make him look trash. You know? Black Widow, I mean, you already know. I like my Caucasian women.
They ruined Hulk in the Marvel movies, right? They ruined Hulk. They did Hulk.
Yeah, I look like Hulk too. Facts.
Hulk is he's powerful. He's super. Like the angrier he gets, the more powerful he becomes, right? But they somewhat stifled his strength because you know they had to appeal to the mass, you know, the masses out there, which is just ridiculous, man. Because I was like, where's World Breaker Hulk when you need him? World Breaker Hulk would have squished Thanos within seconds. But they're like, you know what? Let's just appease the audience and the masses and just give them, you know, Hulk who just got punched in the throat and he starts staggering over the place, and Hulk gives him Thanos gives him a 1-2 and knocks him out and throws him. I'm like, no.
And let's be honest. Let's be honest. That's one of my beefs with Infinity War.
Yeah.
Hulk would have lost that easily, bro. Come on.
Man, that's just wrong, man. That is just wrong. Talk about a being that can breathe in space. When he gets mad, he goes up to a different planet just to cool off. He fights different beings from different dimensions. Doesn't need any protective layer. He's defeated freaking mystical beings, right? Entities of different, you know, terrorizing weird dimensions. And he goes up against Thanos, a basic ass humanoid who happens to have some metal in his hand and has a few rocks in it, and he gets his butt kicked. Doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense. It wasn't as complex. You know, the fighting was not complex. It's just, come on, man. There's a cop out.
All right, man. So let me give you my DC, man. Okay, so you already know Batman is probably my favorite of all time. There's no denying. I've got like 5 Batman shirts. Batman is one of my favorite. Of course, Superman. You can't go wrong with wait, another one is Flash. I'm surprised you forgot Flash. But Flash, the CW series, they had a good show. And then after season 3, I don't know what happened, bro. They show went to trash. I don't know. Have you ever seen the Flash on?
I've seen clips on YouTube. I've never watched the entire show from beginning to end. I never. CW superhero shows look very corny and look cheap.
They do.
They look so horribly done. Like, I'm like, look at these effects. Like, looks like someone who just, like, at some point it's bad. It's bad. You know what I'm talking about, right? It looks bad. Like, I mean, compared to Marvel, it's they need some work in the visual effects, man. It's horrible.
Man. And then who else? I like the Martian Manhunter.
Okay.
And then Green Arrow is my last pick. Of course, we all know that Marvel would wash DC, but then you can't say, I mean, they got Superman and Batman. You know, I mean, if you had to put Tony Stark, have you done that video yet? Tony Stark versus Batman, who would win? Or maybe that's something you want to do. I don't know. Have you?
I think a different YouTube channel has done a fight like that before, and I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure who won, but I think I've seen it somewhere before. But if I was to do something like that, I would have to pair them up with other characters to add some more, you know, spice to the fight to make it more appealing and more challenging. You know,
I think Tony, even with that Mach 3 suit on, he would be in the fight of his life, man. Because Batman is so intelligent and resourceful. I mean, Tony is too, but Batman knows how to fight for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This video playing is made by my brother. My brother made this video.
Okay, so your brother made this one.
He made this one.
Okay. Now, did you help your brother make this one? I'm pretty sure you had to make one.
No, he made this. This is by himself, 100% by himself.
Okay. This one is dope too. Okay. I didn't know that your brother made these type of videos as well. Okay. Yeah. So let's transition, Salushi. At one point, you were even making content in regards to, dating and women, right?
Yeah, Red Pill. Yeah.
Now, Red Pill. Do you still consider yourself Red Pill?
Very much so. Very much so. I'm still Red Pill. Like, you can't Red Pill yourself. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like, once you expose the Red Pill, it doesn't go away. You then just wake up one morning and like, you know what? This is all different. I can now go back to Kumbaya land and just everything. No, you're drowned in the Red Pill and you become baptized in the Red Pill. It stays that way, unless you want to act ignorant and blind, which will not work in your favor. So yes, I'm still Red Pill. Very Red Pill. Yeah.
Now, when I remember when you were making some Red Pill content, right?
Yeah.
Some people were criticizing you because of your whole Michael Jackson persona, and then this guy in Red Pill, but you were like one of the hardest like Red Pill dudes out there.
Thank you for saying Solo TV, right? You know what's crazy? I remember making one video where I was like, I had proof of, if I was with a woman, there's proof.
I remember that.
Was consensual, and people went in on me. They were like, this guy, he's got cameras in his house. He's so paranoid. I'm like, look at what's happening right now with the Me Too movement. Look at what's happening right now with the Me Too movement. If most of these guys had cameras to prove that they were innocent, they would not be in this debacle. They would not be in this situation. Sorry, they would not be, having to go word for word. They would go video, audio proof versus her word. And if you're innocent, we will see that you're innocent by watching the video, right? So I was basically, not to toot my own horn, but I was basically ahead of the curve, right? And this was way back, I think it was in 2014, and they did not like it. They didn't. I was like, look at the people. Like, I would go to forums on the internet and see people talking about, oh, look at you, look at you, look at that woman, it's so paranoid. I'm like, look at these guys. Someday you learn.
And it's interesting to me because at one point you even came out and you were rocking with MGTOW, and you still consider yourself a MGTOW, right?
Yeah, I still live in accordance to the ideology of MGTOW, yeah.
And then I remember when you made some MGTOW videos, because he got a lot of girls, he got some baddies that follow him, y'all. Facts. Yeah. And the girls were like, what is this? What is you don't like women? What is? Are you mad? Like that? And then you had to try to explain to your audience, and then it seemed kind of like you were getting into beefs, and then you fell back. Like, what made, was it the beefs that made you fell back? Because it seems like a lot of guys were trying to discredit you. And here's the thing with the Michael Jackson, and I don't remember your sub count at the time, but you were already a big YouTuber at that time, right? Were you at 200,000?
I was. What did you say?
Do you remember how many YouTubers you had in 2016?
I was much lower. I think I was around maybe 15,000 or so. 15,000.
But see, at that time, there weren't a lot of guys in MGTOW who had that number.
That is true.
Sad man, but nobody else.
And the thing is, about MGTOW back in the day, right? It was not as diverse as it is right now. Now you have Kevin Samuels, who wears his nice suits, and I was like, a black man rocking some nice custom fitted suits, because I love custom fitted suits, right? I'm like, that's awesome, right? And then you have AMS. I'm like, if only these men existed back in 2014 and 16, things would have been so much better, because most of the MGTOW creators were all white. They were mostly white, right? Nice. And it's like, it didn't leave room for people of color, guys of color, to express their own perspectives of what it is to be a black man and date. Because even though we are all red pillars, we still have differences in the way things happen, even in the same situation. I was like, you know what? I was just hoping and wishing things were a little different and we had more people of color. And that's also one of the reasons I pulled away. Kind of, I was like, man, they will never understand what I'm trying to say. And I noticed a lot of black MGTOW followers and content makers, they have my back, because they understood.
Hold up, guys. I caught Salucci slipping. Hold up, Salucci. I'm sorry, bro, but I gotta show this. Just so you know, he's not capping. This is his video playlist, right? Yep. Look at this. Here you can see 5 years ago, this brother was making MGTOW content, bro.
This one,
I'm pretty sure you still got the other videos on private, right?
Yeah, on private. Yeah, I have some videos on private. Yeah, I do.
Look at this, man.
Yep.
And here's 6 things wrong with the MGTOW community.
Yep. I made that after that incident about people attacking me, calling me all paranoid because I could prove consent. It's like, dude.
Right. And then here I remember when they were calling you a loser, and this was 2015. So, bro, that video that I'm referencing, then you made it not in 2016, but the Tinder video was in 2015 then too, right?
2014, 2015, around that year. So like 6 years ago.
And I remember when you made a couple response videos. Hold on, and then you were out dancing with the girls, and even then, this was 2015. You were using like the green screen already, all of that. You were way ahead of your time, bro, with the content, the way you put it together. And by the way, shout out to my bro, Super Sly 75 in the building. I appreciate you, bro. You feel me with the $2?
This video was one of my best, I think.
Yeah.
One of my best videos, yeah.
And this is just you out there just like basically proving like, we're not all weirdos. We're not.
Like, look, I've got better things to do. Like if I wanted to, oh man, it's right there on video. You can't disprove a video. It's a video. It's not like it's a picture and it's Photoshop. It's right there on video.
Because a lot of people were calling you a weirdo, like, oh, this and that, and saying that you were trying to hop on the wave, but you were always in it. But then, you got into a lot of beefs. But now when you look at the climate now in 2020, how it is now for men and dating, and you see now MGTOW and Red Pill content has exploded, especially with the dating coaches, right? Dating coaches, like you mentioned, AMS, he's huge. By the way, AMS had his first 2 interviews on Solo TV 84, facts. And Steph is cold. He's been on Solo TV 84 as well. But you've got all these big dating coaches now. And what is your thoughts on that, Salucci? Why do you think now you have MGTOW has exploded, dating coaches have exploded too, but POA really has died, let's be honest. What are your thoughts now? When you were 5 years ago, you were talking about this stuff. And I was talking about it too 5 years ago. Like me and you, we technically OGs. Exactly. But it seems like the new cats get more of the wave because, you know, everybody likes the new cats. But you were talking about it 5 years ago. I was talking about the same thing. But what is your thoughts now? Because we haven't heard you speak on these topics in a minute.
The reason I think it's catching on is because, like the old saying goes, the truth always comes to light. Men are now starting to wake up because I knew, like, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pull back, and eventually they'll see what I'm trying to tell them. Like, you have to watch out. This is gonna happen. I knew the POA community would die. I knew it. I was like, there's only so long. I made 2 videos about POAs, aka pussy beggars. You and I both know I'm not very fond of POAs because they don't understand the true meaning of what it is to be a man. They undermine themselves. They have no self-integrity. They have no discipline. They have no self-respect. They get their
people accused you of being a PUA, and they've accused me too. And it's like, no, we're not PUAs, man.
No, like, see, and this is to do with my time than chase women. Real talk. Much better things to do with my time. Like, why would I do that? These are other human beings like me. When you come to terms with your mortality and the fact that you are going to pass away someday, you cannot be wasting your time, hours upon hours outside, approaching this girl and this girl and this girl and this girl and this girl just to bust a nut. And then what? And then what? There are guys who are burning the midnight candle. These guys who are going out being pussy beggars, they're gonna start hitting on these successful men. These men that were burning the midnight candle while these other guys were out there pussy begging. They're gonna start hitting on them because these other men are going to get to a certain level where women are going to start approaching them instead of these guys approaching women, right? And when these women start approaching these successful guys who are burning the midnight candle, the ex-PUAs or current PUAs are going to be mad and saying, oh, look at this guy. She only likes him because of his money. So she likes him because of his money. That's human nature. She's trying to fulfill her biological imperative as a woman. And so are you by chasing wealth. It's normal. It's natural. Don't fight it. Gain some money, follow your passions, and the same thing will happen to you. It's not rocket science. And plus, you don't have to be super good looking for that to happen. You don't. Look at Hugh Hefner. Look at Mick Jagger. That's how you say his name, right? Mick Jagger?
Yeah, Mick Jagger, yeah.
You see what he looks like. But because he's an accomplished man, that's what happens. Meanwhile, these guys who are PUA pussy beggars, they want to take the easy shortcut by doing the numbers game. I'm like, you're wasting your time. Well, the amount of time you're wasting with doing this, you could have spent that time developing your skills as a man, and you will find yourself in a much better position in the future, being able to naturally attract these females that you like so much. Don't you want to debate or negotiate from a position of power instead of begging? Why would you want to beg? Like, why do you not see the value of work? You deserve better for yourself too. Women have all the power when it comes to sex. They do. And the moment you come to terms with that, you become a much better person. Put the ego aside. Put all your ego aside and realize women have all the power when it comes to sex. This is why I tell a lot of my guy friends, there's no such thing as game, only attraction. They're like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? I saw this girl and I called and pushed this girl, and I talked to her and I did this and I did that, and I used my game, and next thing one thing led to another, and we had sex. I'm like, no, stop. Your words aren't what made her want to have sex with you. From the moment she saw you, she was attracted to you. Whatever happened in between of her playing hard to get, she's basically SHIT testing you to see if you really want this, right? And if you pass, then you get it, right? But there are guys who women never, ever SHIT test, ever. I'm speaking from my own physical direct experiences. I've been the guy, right? I'm not trying to show off. Please don't don't take this as me showing off. I'm just telling you what I've experienced as a human being. You know? I've been in certain locations, like let's just say in New York City, right? There's a club called One Oak. I'm not sure if you guys know about it, but it's a One Oak club, right? My brother and I.
Well, I've heard about it. It's like 10,000 a table to get in there.
You have to pay like $450 to get in. Like that's what I had to pay. Like every time I go to pay like because you're paying for bottle service and basically for them to be nice to you and not be dicks. That's basically what you're paying for, right? And each time I've paid that type of money, it's been a waste because you're not spending all $450 in one night. It won't happen. Plus, I am not an alcoholic, so I'm like, why am I wasting all this freaking money? And it's not like they give it back to you. You know, no. They say, oh, it's on your tab. I'm like, do I get the remnant of the money back to my account or something? They're like, no, it goes to the club. I'm like, F you. You just stole my shit. Like, it's like, why would you do that? You know what I mean, right? It's okay. So, where was I? If I got, what was I talking about? I was talking about
You were talking about PUAs.
PUA. Yeah. Okay. So I've been that guy, right? Who I've been in a location where I would see PUAs, running their game, macking on chicks, whatever it is they're doing, and they look so pathetic and so helpless. And it's like, I want to go over there and just drag them by the face. I'm like, stop this. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your life. You won't live forever. What the hell are you doing? You have more value in yourself than you could possibly leave. You're wasting your time. Yes, she has what you want, but you can get that from a position of power. I'm not saying you have to belittle her. I'm just saying, like, you get from a position of like, if everything's going to be 100% consensual, obviously, but the thing is, you do not have to belittle yourself as a man because there are guys out there in some situations like me who just walk in. She makes eye contact with me, and that's all it takes. That's literally all it takes. Like, I've got some crazy stories I can tell you guys. Like when my brother and I went clubbing to One Oak, right? We went to the bar, chilling at the bar, right? So this song comes on. Oh my goodness, it was such an amazing song, right? So my brother, we at the bar, we hit dance because we were dancers, right? So we were killing it. We were destroying. We ripped a hole on the dance floor. We left earth. Like it was we like dance battles. I've dance battled over New York City. I'm telling you, man, over New York, Bronx, Brooklyn. I've gone to all types of clubs and I've done dance battles, so I have that experience on my belt, right? So we left a crater on the dance floor. We left. Then this girl, she beelines all the way from wherever she was, and she comes to us. She's like, "Oh my God, I love you guys." Mind you, we never met this girl before. She's like, and this is to prove to you guys that if you have value, females will chase you. Females approach guys. They do. Guys always like, I have to approach. No, females approach guys a lot. I can tell you that from my first-hand experience. So she's like, I love you guys. Oh God, you guys dance so well. Oh my God. And she's playing around with my jacket. She's like, oh, you smell so good. And she's coming close to me. She's like, she's like, could you please dance with me? She was begging me to dance. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go dance, right? So we hit a dance floor, right? And this super up-tempo, energetic song comes on. And I'm doing something because I'm not holding back. I don't hold back for anyone, right? I mean, I don't care if you're a woman. Right? So I'm killing it, right? And you know what's crazy? This girl was kind of, not really, but kind of able to keep up with me. And I'm a very high energy type of person, right? So I was like, damn, this is very impressive. Like this is impressive because most females cannot do that with me. They cannot because I'm crazy with it, right? So I've done a bunch of crazy and she's trying to keep up. I'm like, wow, kudos to you. And I'm thinking to myself, right, if she plays her cards right, we are gonna have a great time tonight. If you know what I'm talking about, right? So I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, this is going so well. She has the energy. She's agile enough to keep up with me. So that says something else about what she's physically capable of doing outside of the club. If you know what I'm talking about. So I was like, all right. This was a great dance. I was talking to her that this was amazing. I appreciated this. It's awesome. And she gave me a big hug. She just, oh my God, it was nice meeting you. I was like, all right, that was nice. So I went back to the bar. My brother and I kept talking about what just happened, right? And the thing is, eventually, fast forward a few hours into the night, right? We danced some more, danced with a bunch of other people, a bunch of other girls as well. And I saw this girl up on the balcony. There's like a little balcony and in this club, right? And you had to like walk all the way upstairs to it. We walked all the way upstairs and we saw this entourage of just beautiful women, and those were her friends because they were all color coordinated, right? So they were wearing like black, and she was wearing white, and her best friend was wearing orange, right? And I didn't notice this until I came up close, right? So I looked at this girl. I was like, I'm like, why is she wearing? Why does what she's wearing look like a little bridal outfit? I'm like, well, what doesn't make any sense. I know it's not Halloween, so what's going on, right? So I'm looking at her. I'm like, is this your birthday? She's like, no, it's my bachelor party. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. You're telling me you were grinding up with me and doing all that with me when it's your bachelor party. And while I was talking to this girl, right, her friend who was wearing this mini tight orange dress, she pulled me to the side, right? I couldn't make this up. Yo, what happens next? This is nuts. She pulls me to the side, right? She bends over and she starts thrusting her backside on my pelvic region. I couldn't make this up. You know what's in? That wasn't where it stops. She starts screaming like she's having sex. She was moaning and groaning and screaming, and everyone was looking. I'm like, this girl was nuts. She's nuts. She was loud, and I'm basically just taking it, right? I'm taking the hits, right? And then I think to myself, does she think I cannot throw it back? Like, does she think I'm just gonna stand by and just? I'm like, okay. I just grabbed the hips, right? And I started throwing back like a madman. And I'm telling you, she just went red. I was like, she's about to bust a nut. She's about. I'm telling you, right? It was like she was, and her screams and moaning just became so much louder, right? And people were like taking pictures and like, oh, what's going on? They thought we were legit having sex, but we weren't. We were just dry humping each other, just. That's just one of my many stories. Like, I've got so much I can tell you guys. Like, but my point is this: you don't have to be a pussy beggar if you're following, like AMS would say, follow your purpose. If you're following your purpose and your passions, women will chase you. Facts. They will chase. Oh my goodness. You've seen the pictures that I have. Every time you see me with a picture with a woman or a bunch of women, I promise you one thing, I can swear on anything on my life, whatever, right? Whenever you see me with a bunch of women, they're the ones who ask me for a picture. They're like, would you mind taking a picture with us, please? I'm like, all right, let's take a picture. And if I like the picture, and if I think they're cute, I put up on Instagram. That's basically what happens, right? I never go out of my way to like, oh, can I take a picture with you? I never do that because that's begging. You don't beg. You don't do that. Never put yourself in a position of being weak. Women want a man who can take charge, right? And when they see that and they can breathe that energy, they'll gravitate towards you. I've been in so many positions where there'll be guys who are like 6'9", ripped, muscles, and they get no play in the club. And I walk in, I'm getting play after play after play after play, like it's nothing, right?
Right.
And the thing is, it's because I'm there not because of the woman, but I'm there because I want to dance. Because I love it. Because I want to.
Wait, please say the last part again. You there because of what?
I'm there because I want to dance. I want to dance. I want to. I want to dance. I want to sweat. I want to have a good time for me. I'm there for me, not for anyone else. For me. It's for me. I'm there to celebrate me, my existence, my life, my accomplishments. I'm there for me. And if I'm with my brother, he and I are both celebrating our accomplishments and just being us, right? So we go and we dance and we dance. And I'm telling you, for some reason, women are so attracted. It's I wish I could show you videos. I wish I could show you, like, you've seen some of those pictures.
Hey, bro, I see your receipts, bro. You good? I know you legit, bro. I see your receipts.
Okay. But the thing is, right? They're very attracted to that. Like, if you're genuinely having fun for yourself. Not that fake type of fun, like, oh, I'm dancing. Are they watching? No, I'm talking about like you're dancing because you love to have fun. You're out with your boys, and you boys are going crazy, just doing stuff for you. I promise you have a better night. More females will be attracted to you because they see like you exude this aura of not only confidence but of power and prowess, and just like I own my happiness. And they're like, wow, I wonder if he can make me happy like that. Let me go over there to their section and see if I can, siphon some of this feel good energy. And females, they are attracted to that. They love it. They love it. And usually, and I'm telling you, in one night when I go out, I can dance with probably around 20 different girls. Get up to like 60 different numbers. 60 different numbers. No cap. I show you my contact list that will blow your mind. I'm not even playing around with this. This is like I would see all this PUA dudes push together. I'm like, you guys, if only you knew.
Oh shit, hold on, bro. Hold on. Let's get into that. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Solo TV 84. We got Salucci in the building, aka Michael Jackson lookalike dancer, also does comic anime videos. Phenomenal brothers, got nearly 500,000 subscribers. Great YouTuber. Let me read the super chats real quick. Enigma WPG with the $2 Canada bucks says great knowledge being discussed. Respect, guys. Hey, respect to you, sir. Trojan Magician. Shout out to Trojan. He says he's preaching. There's no such thing as game, just self-improvement. Most importantly, finances. Okay, that's dope. Thank you, Trojan. That's my homie. Trojan has met me in person. He can tell you a little bit about me, man. Shout out to Red Sings the Blues. He says, donation, my man. Great content. Love the stream. Okay, thank you, Red Sings the Blues. Appreciate that. Now, Salucci, let me ask you this, because you're going hard at PUAs, right? And by the way, this is Salucci's channel. Check it out. I've been posting the link in the chat, but I'll keep doing so. But Salucci, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Because PUAs, I mean, the PUA movement is dead. Even RSD now their form has disbanded. Now RSD is just into the self-improvement aspect, right? But now what has risen up is these alpha dating coaches. You mentioned AMS, for example. These guys have come out, and of course, they most of them teach guys to be on their purpose, this and that. Do you think that they're different from PUAs? And if so, how?
When it comes to someone like AMS, right? I love his content. And I don't suck up to anyone. I don't tell people what they want to hear, but I love his content.
Facts.
His content is very balanced. That's why I subscribed to his channel. I was like, I watched a few of his videos. I'm like, this guy is the real deal. Because as a guy who gets these type of results, when I see another guy, you just know. It's like a radar beep, like yep, he knows. He knows what he's talking about. And you have some other guys who are just like figures and like you don't know what you're talking about. You have no like the RSD guys, those guys, I don't want to say pathetic, but it's just they don't understand the true power they have as a man. And this is not coming from a misogynistic perspective. No, it's coming from like, understanding yourself, knowing your purpose, knowing the fact that a woman is a human being. You as a man, you're a human being. No one is better than the other in a sense, right? But you can't keep pedestalizing females. Like if you approach a woman for the sake, I don't care if you want to hold masculine frame and you talk about groceries and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. The point is this: you approach her, regardless of what you say, you are still pussy begging because I don't care how alpha you think you are, what you think you're doing. The underlying intention is to have sex with that woman. So now you have put her in a position above you. And she knows that you want sex. So it's ridiculous. Like she's not dumb, like, no, I don't know you want. She knows what you want. And even though that she knows what you want, she's seeing you begging and playing all these games and jumping through hoops just to get with her when she has a bunch of other guys who are probably getting with her. You're not the only one. So when I see all these guys talking about, oh man, I banged this girl, and check out my notch count, I'm like, dude, calm down. You don't have a notch count. Women have the notch count, not you. Women are the ones doing the effort, not you. Because sex comes a lot easier to the average everyday woman. The average everyday female, it's so easy for them to attain sex. All they have to do is be in the right position. Guys will hit on them, use pickup lines, and then they have to choose by way of attraction. Oh, what guy do I feel the most attracted to? I like this guy. I like this guy for tonight. He fits everything I really want. Boom. That's the guy that they go for. That's the guy that gets to get laid that night. And if she wants to get pregnant, that's the guy that gets to further his genetic code. onto the next generation. Other guys lose out. Now these other guys are going to say some stupid stuff like, "Oh no, it's game. You need to have better game. Like you're wasting your time." There's no such thing as game. If she likes you, she'll let you hit. If she doesn't like you, goodbye. That's it. She makes the choice. The female in the animal kingdom, which human beings are a part of, they get to decide who gets laid. That's the way it is when it comes to mammals in general. I think, yeah, mammals in general, right? And human beings are mammals, and that's basically how it is. And some guys keep trying to fight this truth. There's nothing you can do about it. This is how it is. Women have all the power when it comes to sex. And you might say, well, what about the top 10% of men? All right, eh, even then, they still have the power because you're using your money, your influence to kind of impress them, right? So yeah, they still have the power in that situation. But you kind of have some leeway because of what you've accomplished as a man. And so you have some power in the situation as well. But in general, I'm talking about most men because most men are not in the top 10% of men, right? So most men are not, they're not seeing this from the right lens. They're not. They're just going at this from the wrong perspective because they watch all these PUA videos and they think you have to approach them like, dude, if you want to approach and it works out for you, good. But understand one thing. Whatever happens, even if you get into a relationship, you get married from that perspective that you approach this woman, she has the power, not you. I don't care how long you guys have been together 10, 20 years. She has the power because she knew from day one you went to her. There are men, look at someone, let me give you an example like someone like Dan Blitzerin or Leonardo DiCaprio. Women have they crowd this guy, they're all over this guy. They want to be it. They do whatever it takes to impress Leonardo. They're
Facts.
fighting for his attention. They're doing what PUAs do for women. You see what I'm saying? So when you're a man of value, women, I've seen some crazy weird. I've been at parties where I was invited. I was at an event with Ja Rule, right? There's a video. There's a video.
Yeah, I saw that video. I remember you posting that like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, there's a video with me and Ja Rule. In case you guys are looking, go up, look it up. At that event, I mean, this has happened multiple times, right? Ja Rule is a rapper who was famous way back in the early 2000s. But when I tell you this guy still has lots of clout and power and influence, even though he's from the 2000s, and that was his peak. He was at his height in the 2000s. Even though that was the case, Ja Rule still has lots of sexual power. He's still seen as a sex symbol by lots of women. I was at this event with Ja Rule, and I'm telling you, the way females, you would see how weird. I use the word weird because it's the most accurate description of how women act around men who have very high value or guys who are famous, right? They start to go against each other, even friends, females who are friends. They come together at the same event, they start almost attacking each other just to get to this guy. And at this event, I was just sitting down, I was just observing. Ja Rule was over there. Ja Rule was sitting all the way across the room. These girls walked in 10 minutes earlier. Ja Rule gets there with his boy. Let me just say how this plays out. How I got to stay with Ja, how I got to chill with Ja Rule, right? So I'm sitting there enjoying the vibes, and because I was there for Michael Jackson's party. The club I went to was throwing a party for Michael Jackson, so they invited me over because of the MJ thing. They're like, "Oh, come on over, about the MJ's party, whatnot." So I'm like, "All right, I'll be there." So I showed up. Ja Rule also showed up. A bunch of celebrities showed up for MJ's party, right? So Ja Rule was all the way over there, and this was in New York. Houston, the club is Bounce, an amazing club. I recommend to you guys when this situation is over, right? So Ja Rule was all the way over there sitting down. These girls walk in, and they just hey, no girly stuff, talking to you, and then they make eye contact with Ja Rule, celebrity, and their hypergamy just goes into overdrive, right? These girls were talking to each other like friends, like, "Oh, we're friends, we're friends." They see Ja Rule. They look at each other kind of weird. Like you could see the disconnect from them. Like it wasn't like they were friends anymore. It was more like they became competitors with each other. Right. So like kind of like, okay, Ja Rule's right there. And slowly and surely throughout the night, they started to make their way closer and closer and closer until they were literally right next to Ja Rule. On the other side, it took them about 5 minutes to get there. So it's like, no, probably around 10-15 minutes to get there, if I remember correctly. But anyway, it took them a while to get to Jeru's section, right? So they got to Jeru's side, right? And I remember one girl tried to talk to Jeru. She's like, I don't know what she said. Maybe she was asking for a picture or something. You know, she tried to do something, and one of Jeru's dudes kind of like gave her a look like, yo, back up. This ain't it. Just back up, right? So she kind of like backed up. She got the message, right? And Jeru was still there talking with his homies, and they all talking, you know, chatting, drinking, and talking, you know, just having a good time, right? And these girls were trying so hard because they were going back and forth. They stopped talking to each other as friends. They were now in competition with each other, and it was just so weird. I'm like, aren't they supposed to be friends, right? So they stopped. They'll do every now and then. She would just look back at Jeru, and this other girl would look back at Jeru, and they'll try to like get his attention, but he didn't care about them. He didn't give a crap. He was just talking to his boys, right? So I'm chilling, and the DJ puts on some Michael Jackson music, and I just get up. I'm like, oh, this is my jam, right? So I hit the dance floor, right? Dance to Billie Jean, back up into the to the bar. Jeru sees me. He salutes me like this, right? And I see him salute me, and I go back and I give him a salute as well, right? And he's like, all right, all right, all right. And he calls me over. He's like, come on over, right? And I'm looking, I'm like, is he talking to me? Is he talking to someone behind me? I look behind. There's no one there. So I'm like, okay, Jeru's talking to me, right? So I walk over. He's like, my dude, yo, you know, he's like, yo, man, you got it down pat, man. You know how he speaks. He sounds the same way in real.
Yeah, he got a gruff voice. Yeah,
sounds, you know, kind of like DMX. You know, they sound that way in real life, right? So he's giving me compliments. It's like he's complimenting me like crazy. I'm like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I'm talking to him, like he's like, I'm like, can I get a picture, right? He's like, oh, sure. So I bring out my phone to get a picture, right? He's like, no, my dude, that's some video. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I'm like, I'm gonna take a video instead. So I take a video of Jeru and I, and that's the video that's on my page, right? So I'm like, all right, video taken, and he's like, yo,
is it still on your Instagram?
What?
Is that video still on your Instagram?
Yes, it is. It's on my Instagram. It's on my Instagram.
Hold up, man. I'm pulling it up.
All right.
Keep talking. I got you.
Yeah, he gave me a little shout out, like, yo, the glove won. You know, and after that was then we went back to like talking, but I didn't want to overstay my welcome. So I was like, you know what, thank you. It was so nice meeting you, my dude. It's like, all right, take care. He's a chill dude. He's a chill ass dude. He's like, all right, it was nice meeting you, my dude. And he just walked away. No, so I just walked away, you know, and those girls were still there, vulturing around Jeru, trying to get like, and his boys weren't having it. This one girl, she just forcefully walked up to Jeru's section, tried to sit down, and Jeru was like, nah, get out. And this girl was so humiliated. She was so embarrassed by what happened. She just hung her head down and ran out of the club. It was ridiculous because she just felt so entitled. Like, dude, you gotta stop that, man. And that's what you'll notice about some women. Some women feel entitled to the presence of.
That's crazy. So the girl just thought what? Because she was pretty, she could just sit there.
Yeah, I'm good looking. And yeah, the girl was like, nah, out, and she just left. He ruined her entire week. Real talk, he ruined her entire week.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Solo TV 84. We
got the video. If you want to see the video, if you keep scrolling down, show the video.
Hold on a second. We got Salucci in the building, Michael Jackson dancer impersonator, along with anime comic content creator as well, phenomenal YouTuber. Mods, please post his channel. You know what I'm saying? He's got nearly 500,000 subscribers. He's been doing this for a minute. Are you sure? I think you may have taken it down. Huh?
One more. Scroll up one. Scroll up. Just scroll up. Yeah. One more. That video right there, the one with the sunglasses. You see that one in the middle?
That one? All right, I got you.
Yeah, that's it.
Hold on a second. I gotta mute myself real quick.
That's the guy I met. I met this dude right there. That's Jeru. Yep, that's it right there.
there. And also for those who want to follow Salucci on Instagram, it's right up there. Bro, Salucci, let me ask you this, because yo, bro, you were going pretty hard at PUAs, but like I was saying, I mean, PUA is pretty much dead in 2020. Ain't no PUAs around. Like I said, RSD has dismantled. The PUA movement is pretty dead. Matter of fact, I would even go to say, like, you have a new movement now called the Black Pill movement. Have you heard of that?
I've heard about the Black Pill, but I'm not very informed about it.
So basically, it's guys who are incels now, but they're not about game. These guys call themselves Black Pill. Most of them are incels, not all of them. But basically, they're not. They're saying it's done. You can't even get women. It's only about three things: looks, money, status. If you don't have one of those three things, then you're done. Then you might as well get some, pay for escorts. I mean, or a sex doll or something. And my issue with a lot of that is that they're not going off of their experience, or maybe they got rejected once and they're going off of that. But a lot of these guys have given up because they think that it's only about looks, money, and status. So now, instead of where the PUAs used to say, "Oh, it's about game," which we know it's not. It's more than game. The Black Pill are saying, "No, women don't care about good men. They only care about looks, money, and status. So if you don't have one of the three, you might as well give up." And that's what a lot of those guys are about: complaining and whining.
So, do you want my take on it?
Yeah, I guess, because you even, Salucci, you mentioned it yourself that women will approach you, but Salucci, you're not a regular guy. I mean, you are a guy who's an entertainer. You right? You're a guy who knows how to dance, and you're not bad looking, and you have a pretty big YouTube following. You're doing your thing, but the average guy probably doesn't even know how to do the two-step. So a lot of guys, I mean, what do you tell to that guy who believes that, oh, well, I don't look like Salucci, I look like Elmer Fudd. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just talking out of his ass.
All right, here's what I would tell them. There's a lot of truth in what they're saying when they say women care about looks, money, status, because women do care about that, right?
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
If you're not good looking, you can go to the gym and work your body out. If you want women so bad, and that's what you want, there are lots of women who like guys who aren't very good looking but have nice bodies. They exist. You can at least do that. No excuses. And if your body is not conditioned for working out for some crazy reason, well, you're gonna have to use your brains to develop skills and talents to make you money. There's always going to be a way for you to attract women. Not every woman wants a guy who looks like a freaking model or looks gorgeous or is super tall. Doesn't work that way. I've come across women who are super tall. Yeah. I've come across women who are super tall who look at me and like, wow, this guy, I'm not short. I'm like 5 feet, 10 and a half inches. And if I put on like Tim boots, I'm like 6 feet tall, right? But you know, so I'm just telling you that I've seen women who are super tall, like models, like, and I'm like, she looks very attractive. And I just walk past her, right? And she'll give me the eye. And I just pull her down, like, what's your name? And we just start talking, right? I'm like, I find you to be really attractive, and whatever happens from there happens. But I only do that when I know she's attracted to me. Right? So I see the attraction. I know lots of tall women like guys who aren't necessarily as tall as they are. Just like guys that they are attracted to. Just the way it is. Just the way it is. So if you're a guy who isn't very good looking in the face, work out your body, become ripped. Take 4 or 5 years off. Hit the gym like a madman. Get ripped. Get toned. Look healthy. That works wonders. There are lots of not so attractive guys who get laid. Trust me in this.
Like Solo TV 84.
Look, dude, I'm telling you, like, work with what you have. Make the best of what you have. No excuses. There's always some way to make ends meet or make things work in your favor. It's never, the end of the world. Like, look at the bigger picture. Look at the positive side of things and work with that. Work with what you have. Be grateful for what you have and make the best of it. It's that simple, really. Stop trying to be like, some other guy. Oh, he's tall and he's good looking. You're not tall. You're not good looking. All right, but you can go to the gym, right? Go to the gym and build a nice looking body.
Right.
Show off your body when you get ripped. Show it off. Let women know I worked hard for this. Look at my nice body, and they'll be like, oh wow, you want to hang out later? That's how it goes. When women say one thing led to another, that's usually how it goes. Little things like that, right? So work with what you have.
Oh, that's basically it. Yo, I feel that. Now, so Lucci, let's change the topic for a bit, and then we'll get you going, because I know you're a busy guy. Right now, I know you've noticed, and by the way, welcome to Solo TV 84. We got Michael Jackson lookalike dancer, director, anime, comic book YouTuber, Salucci in the building. Salucci, let's talk about this real quick. There's been a recent rise in when you look at some of these films, right? Especially with Captain Marvel and Avengers and Wonder Woman, of having these strong female characters, right? And they're basically trying to make it like, oh, like women are strong. We're trying to get a woman audience, but it's not a secret. 90%, and I'm estimating, of people who watch these movies are typically male, right? What is your thoughts on them trying, the SJW and feminists trying to, now you're hearing about the next series of Marvel movies is going to have way more female characters. Do you think that they're like shooting themselves in the foot? What's your take on that?
I think there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Like if you watch a movie like Wonder Woman, it shows a woman who is strong without rubbing it in your face like, oh, she's better than all the men. You know what I mean, right? Like you have to know how to do it because they're strong women. And I feel like women also need representation, but without belittling men. You can show a woman's strength. You can show her talent without making men look like a bunch of idiots. It's very possible. Like there's so many movies, even if you go back in time to like Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider showed a strong woman, and they did not have to belittle men for that. If you belittle men, your movie will fail. It's that simple. If you make men look like a bunch of mumbling,
like the Ghostbusters movies that they try to make all female, that flopped hard.
Yeah, because they try to make it seem as if, oh, the women are better than the men, and like don't do that, because what you're working on is already a legacy that has already been established by men. You can't go around and say, oh, women didn't build that, men did. So respect that. If you want to have Ghostbusters with females, there's nothing wrong with that. Just know how to present your product without belittling men, because you can do that. You can make a Ghostbusters movie without insulting men. Just be a decent human being and don't be a dick. It's just that simple. But the people who made that Ghostbusters movie and the Captain Marvel movie, they were trying to be dicks, which is why the movies flopped. They try to belittle men, bully, and make it seem as if men were nothing, even though men created the foundation of what these movies are made from.
Definitely. Now, Salucci, are you you said you're working on a mini movie right now? Is that correct? Can you give us any details, like how long it might be, or any characters, a little exclusive tidbit on?
This video that you just played right now is going to have it's kind of like it's going to continue from this in a way. It's going to do a little bit from it, a little bit of some segments from it, but it's not entirely a part two. It's like a rebranding of this idea that I have, right? It's going to be longer than this, I'm sure, and it's going to look. I'm gunning for something that's more industry standard when it comes to CGI and visual effects. I want it to look, as you can see, I was going for that cinematic look in this video, right? So I want something more, industry standard, like something you would see in a movie theater. That's what I'm going for. So that's all I can say about in my next video. That's what I can say about it.
Okay. And Salucci, is there any topic that you want to discuss before we leave that we didn't get to touch on yet?
Let's see.
Anything about film, what you got coming up, or women, or anything that you wanted to elaborate on, anything like that?
I wanted to talk to you about some of your interviews that you have on your channel.
Snaps! Let's get into that. Okay.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about it. I was thinking about like these women that you interview, right? How do they see you after the interviews and the videos get uploaded and they see the comments, and
Oh man.
You're coming back like you
man.
you ruined my life. I hate you. Like, what happened? Because
Hey, hold on. Let me stop right there.
Balls. It takes a lot of courage because I'm like, man, this guy you're brave.
You know, Salucci, my audience, man, is savage, right? And I love my audience. I really do. But at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these women are used to just getting positive feedback from men, right? So when some of them, so when I first started, I first, you know, my first interview was 2017. Then, you know, 2018 and 2019, then I really ramped it up, right? But my mistake initially was I would make interviews and then I would send women the link. And of course, women read all the comments, right? And I remember there was one woman, and yes, she was a black woman, who was very upset by the comments because she was getting smoked. Because, you know, I kind of like exposed her, right? And I don't really go hard in these interviews because, you know, Salucci as well as I do. When you talk to women about these questions, a lot of them are not going to tell you the truth. They're going to sugarcoat it and BS, right? But that woman was so upset, and she made me take the video down, and it was doing very well. And so one of the things I do now, Salucci, is before I even interview a girl, I tell them, hey, just to let you know, a lot of these comments may not be favorable. Some guys may say this or that. So a lot of these women already know what's going on. Some of these women have told me straight up, yeah, I watched the video. I didn't even see the interview. Like the Caitlyn girl, Caitlyn Kimpton, shout out to her. She tells me she don't even read the comments no more. That's why you always see her come back. So, but then, yeah, there are some women who feel a certain way that, you know, one woman I interviewed, her name is A-Dub, shout out to her. She was crying, you know. But then also, Salucci, I got to keep it real. While the audience, I do appreciate their honesty, there's a lot of guys who cap. You feel me? Because it'd be some guys saying, oh, these girls are ugly or these girls don't know what they're talking about. But then it'd be the same dudes in these girls' DMs trying to shoot their shot. And so, like, a lot of these girls send me screenshots and I laugh. I'm still thinking about if I should do a compilation video of that because there are some. And listen, if guys want to shoot their shot, I'm not mad at that. But if you're the same guy talking crap in the comments and then you say something different, then you got to stay consistent. So a lot of girls now, when I interview them, they know what it is. And also, like, I have very controversial topics, Salucci, that I don't even put on YouTube. I leave it on Patreon because I know if I put that on YouTube, my audience, my guys that watch these videos, they're going to lose their mind. So, like, for example, I got one video where a girl admitted her body count.
Wow.
She's early 20s. She admitted her body count. And I know if I put that on YouTube, that would ruin her life. So I just leave that on Patreon. And if people want to watch it, www.patreon.com/SoloTV84. But that's a video I could never post publicly because I know the guys would just go in.
So what her body count, was it surprising to you or?
Well, she is, you know, she was 20 years old and her body count was 22. Something like that. Yeah, bro. So, like, I know if I put that video up on YouTube, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. So there's a lot of videos, a lot of footage. Like, if you watch the videos, you think, damn, this is crazy. Just imagine the footage that I don't even put up on YouTube. Facts.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I've always wondered what, you know, with the aftermath of what happens when they see themselves and see the comments and the guys who block.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I tell girls exactly what goes on. Now, do some girls might not do interviews again, which is cool. That's up to them. Some girls want to do more. You know, like I had Jazz on. She always wanted to, you know. And then some girls, they're like indifferent about it. So, but I make sure now to tell girls because after the black girl was upset, I want girls to know exactly what goes on because my channel is not you know, my audience is a bit more critical, obviously, when it comes to women, right? We hold women to a higher standard. Where if my channel was just like a vlogging channel, or I just do interviews here and there, you know, then it may not be like that, because most of my audience is men, red pill men. So, you know, you got to expect a response like that. But obviously, also these guys should know too, in the audience, because some of these guys are dumb. Ain't no woman gonna come on camera and say, "Oh yeah, I sucked 50 niggas off last week, and I got a 500." But ain't no woman gonna say that. So it kind of baffles me that guys get upset still, that when they like, "Oh, these women aren't telling the truth." Of course, women are never gonna tell you the truth, especially when it comes to, you know, their body counts or certain things like that. It's just the way of the beast. Women know better.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Yeah,
that is definitely true.
yeah.
I was thinking about something else in terms of, you know, what you're talking about in terms of this body count and whatnot. You know, I've always thought to myself, do you think it's fair to judge a woman based on her body count? Do you think you should say, okay, because she's been with this number of men, that she's not dateable or she's not marriage material? Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, I do, because men and women are different. You feel me? And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, you know, a woman can go out to a bar club every day of the year and get laid whenever she wants.
True.
Even a woman that's like a 4, you
True.
know, because men are that thirsty and desperate that they're
Mhm.
willing to do that. Um, you know, the thing though that I think women got to understand is that there's certain men that don't want to be with the woman that's the town bicycle, where everybody has had a ride. But then also there's certain men that I think are delusional when they say, "Oh, I want a woman that's a virgin." Where in America are you gonna find that unless she's underage? You're not gonna find that, bro. So my thing
And
is
you
that
know,
any woman,
just to cut it a little bit, just to cut it a little bit.
yeah,
One thing about virgins, right? I have come across a few girls who are actually virgins, right?
okay,
One thing you realize about some girls who are virgins, right? They have a certain standard of pickiness that is unlike anything you've seen before. Like, because they're virgins, right? They sometimes they feel they're better than the average woman who's had sex. Like, well, I'm a virgin. I've never had sex before, so you're gonna have to basically pay up, right? You're gonna have to do more to get with me because I'm clean and I'm untouched. So it's like they have this level of almost ridiculous, grand level of delusion. It's like they make you work more for it than the average woman would.
right,
That's just what I've seen and
right.
with, yeah, when it
And
comes to
like I
virtue.
said, and let me clarify. Are there virgins out there that are of age, you know, 18, 21? Yeah, probably, yeah, of course. But those women are very, very hard to come by. You feel me?
Definitely. Yes.
And I'm just being honest. I mean, I had a woman on here who, you know, and still blows my mind. And I know she wasn't lying, but this woman was talking about, oh, I need 8 inches. If it's less, I can't deal with it. And it's like, you can tell she's for the streets. You know what I mean? And this woman is always complaining about men, and she's single. And I'm like, you talk like a thought, you carry yourself like a thought, and then you have the audacity to wonder why you're single. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
what, so when we talk about fairness, a woman can't talk about being a high value woman, high quality woman, but then she has been digmatized to a point where the whole stream, Salucci, I'm not sure, I can send you the link. You'll laugh your ass off. She was just
Well,
talking about, I need a big dick. I need a big dick. I need it. The whole stream. And I'm like, damn. Like, you know,
that's that. When women get desperate like that, to me, a woman that is that desperate, that is the turn off for me. Like, completely turns me off.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
when I see women who know that they're acting a certain type of way to get attention, like they do it on purpose. Like, it's a woman who just don't care about if you like them or not, if you look at them or not, you just don't care. But some women, right? You just know they want to get attention, right? They want to do things like, wear something so little and then they bend over in your face and then scoot close to you. It's like, no, stop. Like, I've had this girl who basically put her breasts on my face. Like I wanted it. I'm like, I don't like, could you excuse me? Could you just back up a little bit? You're too close. Inspiration to me is a turn off, right? Because women, there's so many women who think guys, when they see my ass and my tits, they're gonna go crazy and just want to touch. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. Because personally speaking, I've got stories of when I've been touched by women without me giving them consent. I've had girls who grabbed my butt, grabbed my crotch area, thinking I was gonna like it, and I just got pissed. I was like, "You look, I know you're a woman, but don't touch me again, because I'll get one of my female friends to handle you. I'm not even playing. Keep back, like stop touching me. You don't know me like that." Right? I also remember when I was out, some girl, and this is out when I was out clubbing, right? This girl, she gets her scarf, right? She gets her scarf and she puts it around my neck, and she drags me to the dance floor. This is someone I don't know, someone I've never met. Now she's probably thinking, oh, just like the movies, like this rom-com, the drag the guy to dance, gonna be so romantic, and we just danced. I got so pissed, I was heated. I took the scarf out because now I'm thinking of a black man being lynched, right? I'm like, because that's kind of what it felt like, and it was this white girl. I'm like, you entitled little brat, how dare you put that around my neck? Who do you think you are, right? So she puts it around my neck, and I yank it up and I throw it on the ground. And I just give her this stare, like, you need to watch yourself. Like I sit with my look, like you're lucky I'm in a good mood. Like just stop playing around, stop being so entitled, right? I also want to talk about guys, right? Especially like non-black dudes, specifically white dudes, who hate on black dudes out in public. I want to address this. Hopefully it stops. It might not, it might, I don't know. But I just want to talk about it, right? I was out this one time having a blast by myself, and I see this group of guys, all white dudes, looking at me like I did something wrong to them, right? And they're just looking at me like, give me this look, like I did something wrong. And I'm like, who are these people? Do I know them from somewhere? Did I offend them? Are they from like YouTube or something? Did I use like did I kill up one of their favorite Marvel characters for my videos? I don't know, but they're just looking at me, mad, right? And I'm just like, whatever. So I'm just dancing, right? And I look away for just a split second. I look back and I see these two hands gunning towards my neck. This guy is launching his hands onto my neck. And I'm thinking to myself, because I've seen this in slow motion, I'm like, is this guy really trying to choke me out? Is this what's really happening? Or is he just, maybe he's drunk? Nah, he was going for my neck. He went for my neck. He put his hand on my neck. And that was when I just blanked out. I was like, oh boy, you have no idea what you've just done. Right? So I reached from inside out, pull his hands away, and I hit him on the chest real hard, right? So he staggers backwards. And now I get into a horse stance. Because he doesn't know I know how to fight. He doesn't know I'm a trained fighter. I'm a walking weapon, right? He doesn't know that. So I get in a horse stance and I hold my position. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I pray and I hope this stupid fool makes a move so I can break his fucking knees, dislocate his shoulders, and ruin him. And he just did nothing. He just backed away, like back into his boys. I was like, I was so close. Because sometimes people need to learn the hard way. They want to mess around with you because they see the MJ thing. They think it's like, I'm like, be careful. Do not judge a book by its cover. Just because, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I don't look for trouble, but I know how to handle my own.
And salute you. Hold on. Let me read the super chat and then I'll respond to that. And shout out to Enigma WPG. He says, jazz is built for the smoke. LOL, those South African girls, not so much. Don't let them see the comments. Respect for all the interviews, Solo. Hey, thank you for watching, man. I really appreciate it. And you guys go on Patreon to check those out. I see Ike in the building. What's going on, man? Ike is one of my big sponsors, Salucci. So shout out to him. Salucci, and you know what? And I'm not trying to make this a race thing, but when it comes to that, you bring up a very interesting point, because if the white women were unattractive, white guys wouldn't care, right? They would ignore you or would even laugh at you. But if as soon as they notice that the beautiful white women are checking for you or congregating around you, then all of a sudden it's like, yo, and especially a guy like you. And for me, when I've been in situations, because sometimes I'm with my friends and we have fun, right? We in these social circles, we're popping bottles, or one of my boys is very successful. He's probably watching the playback later, but we in these nice high-rise condos, and we got white girls there, and the white neighbors might see and be like, what's going on? But at the end of the day, when you notice the stares and the hate, how do you deal with it? Because me personally, I ignore it, or I just look them dead in the eye like, what the fuck you looking at? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, for real. And I'm not a racist guy or nothing like that. My audience, I got different races, but it is an issue that comes up. We got to acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm. What I do for the most part is just ignore it. I'm like, I'm going to ignore you, but if you touch me, I'm going to touch you back, and you will not like how I am going to touch you back. It's not going to be a pleasant touch. It's going to be more of an attack. Right, so for the most part, I mind my own business. I don't go around looking for trouble, right? Because I know what I'm capable of doing, right? I just keep to myself. So I would recommend any guy who's in that position to just ignore them. Don't start something, because they can always play the call the cop card, the Kevin Karen card, and that's that won't go well for you. So ignore them. But if they touch you, defend yourself. Don't turn the other cheek. Stop that nonsense, hold my hand, kumbaya, peace and not. If they attack you, defend yourself. Because if you don't, they're going to do it again and again and again until you submit. So let them know, even if you are outnumbered. What martial arts do I train in? I do Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu. Anthony Drossos. I do Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu. And I'm also getting into Wing Chun. Because Wing Chun is great for fighting multiple opponents, right? Multiple people. Jiu-Jitsu is great for fighting one person. If you're in a real fight one-on-one, Jiu-Jitsu is the best fighting style to use. If you are fighting multiple people, do not use Jiu-Jitsu, because if you do that, while you're trying to choke this guy out, someone's going to hit you in the head with a stick or something, or they might stab you or something, So don't do that. It's a horrible move to do in a multiple person fight.
Okay. Well, Salute, I do have one last question for you. Yeah. Now that we're dealing with this COVID, and man, I know you can go into this with Corona, and I know, where you're at, it's been affected. I mean, it's affected the whole world. Yeah. Has it affected your dating life? Has that been affected? And do you have any advice for guys who may want to meet women? Because now, obviously, most places, bars, restaurants are closed, so you're only relying to the dating apps, right? What is your take on that? Should guys be even pursuing women at this point? Because in my opinion, this is the time right now to get it. Get this bread, focus on your self-improvement. That's what I'm doing. You feel me? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are this. Stay your ass at home, work, follow your passions, build something for yourself. Stop chasing and being a pussy beggar. Enough. Now is the perfect time to build and build and build. It's like a gift from the universe or whatever it is you believe in. To use this time to make something of yourself. Because when it comes to the C virus, I don't want to get your channel demonetized by saying the full word, but when it comes to the C virus, right? It doesn't care what gender you are. It doesn't care what your intentions are. It can kill you. And if it doesn't kill you, it leaves long-term effects on your body, in your organs. So even if you get the C virus and you heal from it, guess what happens much later? You start to get long-term effects, like your lungs don't function as well as they once used to. So if you could run, 4 miles in like a few minutes, guess what happens? You're down to 1 mile now. It can also affect your brain long-term. It can cause memory loss. It's just so many horrible things that can happen from getting the C virus. So many. So stay your ass at home. Stay as safe as possible. Take it very seriously. Don't take it like it's a joke. There are people who are dying from this, right? Protect yourself and grow your business. Focus on your passions and just do you.
Okay, and I want to say shout out to Ike with that $50 super chat. Ike in the building. What's going on, man? albino brother from another mother. You feel me? And we got Salucci in the building. You guys also check out Salucci's YouTube channel. He's got great, like I said, he's mainly focusing now on the comics, anime, crossover, fighting type videos. Salucci, will you ever get back into making dating videos again, or Michael Jackson videos, maybe on the alternate channel, maybe?
Maybe. Who knows? Sometime in the future. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right. Well, Salucci, I appreciate you for coming on, bro. Like, this has been, I'm really appreciative because, you are, one of the big YouTubers. I remember you back in 2014, 15, making fire videos, and to see how far you've come, your evolution as a content creator to do multiple different things and be successful at it is inspiring to me, because maybe one day people come on Solo TV 84 and I'm doing something completely different. They're like, hey, what happened to Solo going in on women? Like, now Solo's maybe doing a traveling channel or a video game channel, or maybe I'm doing an anime review channel. Who knows? But eventually, for me, like, there's got to be evolution, right? And you can't just be stuck talking about the same things or doing the same thing. Eventually, you do have to evolve, even as a content creator. And, I tried doing that with the pranks and skits. They wasn't feeling that, so I fell back. You know what I'm saying? I fell back.
Eventually, you'll find your way. You find the right niche for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep going at it. You'll find it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys. Thanks again to Ike for the donation. Y'all subscribe to Salucci. And we out.
Thank you for having me, Solo. Thank you for having me.